Okay, on the count of three. Right. Okay.
Ready?
1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
Welcome back to Mythbusters with Omar, the Energizer.
And yes, the practical philosopher.
You remembered. That's a good one. Hey, we've been having some interest on our first one.
Okay, great.
I think you were right that maybe it was a bit too long. So we'll try and crack this one in under 5 minutes. How is that?
Okay, let's bust this myth in 5.
Okay, I've got a good one though.
Okay.
Here's the myth.
What is it?
This myth comes from Dr. Hilary Cook, and she put a really nice one. She said, thanks for, what is it? Love this. A couple of general, I'm not hospitality specific, are about the tyrannies of always being positive and the classic never give up. Many of these myths create rigid thinking, and that's the last thing we need in our industry at the best of times, especially now. So in our industry, it's all about emotional labor and always, when the doors swing from the restaurant, keep the big smile on. It's been a hell of a year and continues to be so, and always be positive. I'm the last person to ask this because I always say to myself, keep being positive. Thoughts, Omar, go, let's bust it.
So let's bust this myth. The myth, so let's articulate. The myth is clear, do we always need to be positive, particularly in hospitality?
Yeah, stay positive, never give up, no negative thoughts.
Yeah, then you're not human. Let's face it. Yeah. Come on, Ioannis. No, I think, we, in hospitality, of course, we are customer facing so much of our time. You think about the general customer facing time per week, per day, hospitality definitely win the argument or win the business case in terms of being in front of the customer and serving that customer and having that service attitude. So the question then becomes do I need to have a positive mental attitude to always deliver great service?
Here's where I'm with it. Now I think I'm a naturally positive person.
Okay.
And sometimes I beat myself with it. And I think that's what he meant. Is like, can you always stay positive? And this rhetoric of keep on staying positive, is it healthy or unhealthy? So one of the things I do believe also is that failure is the cousin of success, and without failure, we only see the great success stories, but right, the great entrepreneur or the great this or the great that. And on social media, we love to share our good stories. Rarely do we share our bad ones. But without the bad ones, you can't have the good ones. And as long as you keep on moving forward, so for every 2 failures that you have 3 successes, you're okay. You pick up your pieces and move on. Listen to this. This is an interesting one. This is from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology.
Yeah.
The title of the paper is The Psychological Health Benefits of Accepting Negative Emotions and Thoughts. The point they're trying to make from the research, and they had about 1,000 undergraduate students, and is that the more you accept negative emotions, the more likely you are to have a more balanced well-being and avoid heavy stress and mental health issues.
Yeah.
And to me, it makes sense in this way. Everything is like a muscle, right? And the more we get small elements of stress, the better we become at dealing with stress. And the same can be true for negative emotions. And the more we accept them, next time we get more and more and more, we become stronger, like a muscle. If you get a really big negative scenario and your muscles aren't ready, you can damage those muscles. Same as the gym, right? You're the expert on on how you train and how you build muscles and how you become better at sports. So I think it's very much related. And I think Hilary has a point here that the myth is that you always have to stay positive. And that's not the case. You have to have some sort of balance and sustainable levels of positivity. Otherwise, you flip to the other side of the coin.
And the other thing that you need to be mindful of is this. When we think about positivity, you may feel that you are being positive naturally. And because I perceive positivity differently, I'm going to express it differently. So when we start to think about, do I need to maintain and be highly, rah, and I'm happy and I'm, go, 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 and this is amazing. We have different expressions of positivity. So when we express it in our own way, I think what you're saying is very much that, listen, we need to be mindful of taking on board negative thoughts or negative energy, because it's damaging to our health, and we know that it is. So really, do we need to maintain a level of positivity? Yeah, is it positivity? Is it feel good factor? The question is, does it stand in the way of your service delivery? This is the key thing.
Yeah.
So there'll be someone who will, I know I've worked with people who I go, they are serving with excellence, and they go over to the table, for example, and they're interacting with the customer. But then when they come into behind the scenes and they come into the kitchen, they're like, I'm really tired. I just can't wait. What time is the shift's going to be over? But you would have never thought that to look at them deliver the service that they delivered. So I guess it's really about how do we interpret it and how do we express it.
And I think we're getting near busting it, but I'll give one last example from hospitality and my personal experience, and I hope it's getting better now. But every time I worked in, not every single restaurant, most restaurants, every time those doors flinged and I was facing chefs, we would be angry at each other, use some heavy words, let the negative feelings kind of explode right there, so that the next time I took the plates and I went through the doors, facing the customer, I was all smiles.
Yeah.
So in a way, we can argue that the hospitality and restaurant are laboratories that showcase that you can be positive whilst at the same time accepting negative feelings and emotions and keep a balance. Mental health. Busted?
Yeah, correct. Busted. Very practical.